so I had to go with it. Definitely still the best decision of my life. One of the best decisions of the good decisions I've made.
It's always fascinating to watch somebody's left hemisphere fight with their right hemisphere in real time. And you get a situation like this where the buyer's remorse just insists on coming out right after the person proclaims it the best decision ever. Well, maybe it was a good decision of the good decisions I made. It's top five.
But it did really mess with me at first. Looking at my arm, like it wasn't my arm anymore.
Surely it was worth it to put the feelings cancer into remission.
And then to like make it even worse, one of the first parties that I went to post Phallo, so I was still like, had my catheter and everything, but I was trying to hide that. But anyway, I had my arm all wrapped up, you know, and two people, a mother and a daughter at the party, were like hounding me on what happened with my arm. And I was trying to tell them like, no, like it's complicated, like, and they're like, oh, it's okay, I'm a nurse and whatever. And I'm like, please just stop asking me. I didn't say that. I don't remember how I ended it, but like, I was so uncomfortable.
So on the one hand, we're saying that these individuals have a very high risk of social persecution if their status is disclosed. And on the other hand, we're giving them surgeries that produce a very large and very distinctive scar on a part of the body that is routinely exposed. Does this seem like they believe what they're saying?
So that was in March of 2019 when I had my surgery originally. So I am now over 4 years post-op. How am I now in regards to my arm? I am okay.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
In terms of like identifying with my arm, like being okay with it, looking at it.
See, so she was capable of coming to terms with her bodily discomfort all along.
That I'm completely okay with now, but where I struggle is, you know, wearing t-shirts. I don't like sleeves. Like I never want to wear a t-shirt really. I mean a sweatshirt or whatever. So where I really struggle is where I have to like cover it up because I am concerned for my safety. Would I still have this surgery, knowing how I feel now and living with this for, you know, some years? In a heartbeat, 100%. Hey, my friend, thank you so much for the question. Yes, there was definitely some pain involved for phalloplasty, for me anyway. After Phallo, I was in the ICU for 3 days where I was on strong medication around the clock. But I was in the hospital for a total of 11 days. The two most painful sites were my arm. It's healed very well, but I remember that hurting for weeks after I was home. And also the site where the scrotoplasty was done.
Would that be your vulva?
That was painful for weeks as well. I couldn't sit at an upright position, but I wasn't allowed to for, I believe, 6 weeks anyway. But the pain medication that I was on did keep the pain at bay, and it was manageable.
It's amazing what's manageable with pain medication.
So much pain. Something else that I like to talk about was I couldn't walk at first. It was 7 or 8 days before they had me try to walk. It freaked me out when my legs were jello and I had to relearn to walk that day. Yes, and thank you for acknowledging this because it blows my mind when people are like, oh yeah, trans people don't actually exist, like it's made up. Because the commitment just to have, you know, gotten to this point in my transition where I feel comfortable in my own skin is ridiculous. Like nobody in their right mind would ever go through this much for attention or whatever it is that people think. It's not made up. It's very real.
I've said before that where this phenomenon exists, it can be adequately explained with reference to intrinsic illness, social contagion, as well as a religious movement. It's some combination of that. For the people in this group. And different people are in it for different reasons. This individual recognizes on some level that all of this was a lot to go through. But for her, it's a test of faith. You know, she is proving that it's real by performing these behaviors. That's the concept of performativity. Like many people who may have illness, She lacks the insight to recognize that she's not in the ideal position to determine if she is in fact in her right mind, and also acknowledges that people who are not in their right mind implicitly, that those people are vulnerable to being manipulated and steered down this path. But she doesn't seem to recognize that implication of what she just said.
I never stated that transitioning wasn't a choice.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
It indeed is a choice, and it saved me and many other people.
That saved a wretch like me.
If you think I went on hormones and put myself through a ton of surgeries costing thousands and thousands of dollars, lost people from my life, faced discrimination just for the fun of it, then you're mistaken. I can't make you feel the crippling dysphoria of what it feels like to be born in the wrong body.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
But I can tell you that I didn't have much to offer the world before, when I couldn't even make it out my front door. Now I have so much that I'm able to give back to the world.
Was blind, but now I see.
Judge me on anything other than my heart? Well, that's not a me problem, and I truly hope you work out whatever's bothering you internally. But I am genuinely happy. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support.
Religious rituals that are meant to bring about an internal spiritual transformation, relieve mood symptoms, and otherwise save a wretched person who can't leave her house, who's anxious, who's stressed out, who's not functioning well. So it's being marketed to people who are not functioning well as the cure-all, which is why I really feel like this is viral advertising. So I've talked a bit in the past about having a history with agoraphobia, with difficulty with this exact symptom of leaving the house, and with interacting with things that represent the outside, which is quite common for the situation. And of course I've had a lot of treatment, and it's I consider it to be in the past for the most part. It's kind of like a nagging awareness that it's a little stressful, but it's not a big deal. But so I take it kind of personally, the fact that she's direct marketing to people who are experiencing that symptom. Very effective treatment is available. Highly effective treatment that works faster than you could ever imagine. That won't drastically change your appearance, won't subject you to discrimination, won't make you a target for hate because you have a giant identifiable scar, because that's supposedly what happened, what the situation is now, right? But no, instead we're gonna reinforce to the agoraphobic people stuck in their house not functioning well right now that they have nothing to offer the world. They need to essentially do all but end their lives. They need to end their superficial, every superficial aspect of their life. They need to completely change. You need to be a different person. And once you're a different person, then you'll function fine. Don't worry about why you ended up in this situation. Just assign the gender identity, the cause and solution to all of life's problems.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.